Okay, y'all. Um, any private person that has um, purebred, Maltipoos, poodles, Yorkies, they are so adorable. But yeah, they are in a business, and all of their dogs have everything they need. I did see a couple of warnings about a woman that was getting dogs from a breeder and then jacking up the price. And some of them were even sick. Now, you shouldn't get a sick dog from a breeder, that is for sure. But anyway, y'all, you have to think about these things. I will shave my grocery list down to the bare minimum. Speaking of which, our electricity was off the other day for 11 hours. Are we going to have to replace some refrigerator stuff? Yeah, the FDA says after 4 hours, your food is probably not safe. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. So, you guys, the other thing, I am not asking anybody to help me. I'm not. Period. Have I had a little help? Yep, I have. And I am so grateful. I'm so grateful. But I have not asked for it, and I wouldn't. When I get a new baby, if for some reason she gets very sick and I can't cover it, yes, I'm afraid that I would swallow my pride and say, if any of y'all could just $5, $5, that is all. And I know that would take care of it. But that is the only reason that I would do that. A couple of folks still have my PayPal address. In fact, one of y'all said you just went back to old videos until you found it. I'm sure that took a lot of work. But y'all, and I talked to our manager yesterday, and we had a long conversation, and she was really sorry that I lost Hazel. She knew how much I loved her. She never tried to pet her because she didn't want to get bitten or nipped, not, but y'all saw her trying to nip me. But we had a long conversation about that, about how an emotional support animal is different than a pet. Now, a pet actually does the same things to a certain degree, but a person that needs, and you can look it up, an emotional support animal, which I have had for over 20 years. I've always had a letter from my current psychiatrist, carried it in my purse. But those of us who suffer with depression, anxiety, have panic attacks, there's a lot of things that a person can have that they are helped tremendously by their emotional support animal. And I don't know if y'all have noticed this with your own babies, but every one of mine, even when they were just pets, when I felt blue, when I was crying about something like a Hallmark commercial, my babies would just come over and sit with me. Some of them crawled up in my lap. Miss Hazel was like that. Mariah's like that, even to me. So it's a little different. It's a proven fact that senior citizens, especially those of us who are single and live alone, truly benefit from a pet. You have to get up in the morning. You can't turn over and grab your pillow on the other side and go back to sleep. You have to get up. Miss Hazel was up at least by 6:30, nearly every morning, unless she had a really bad night. And we didn't get to sleep until 2 or 3 in the morning. But you have to get up. You have to pay attention to them. You have to take them outside to potty. Hazel used to be able to go outside by herself and run up and down those steps. And then she got to where she couldn't. And I had to carry her up and down. So when you have that little or big pet, they benefit you. You love them, they love you. I don't know anybody. Well, there's been a couple of people that have said they had their own little Cujos. Now, y'all, that's because of their past. Puppies are not born. Cujos, Rottweilers, Dobermans, Pit Bulls, they are not born Cujos. Miss Hazel was not born that way. They've had a tragic past. And unfortunately, I didn't get Miss Hazel when she was really young. She was 2, maybe 3, they said. They can't always pin it down. It was so ingrained in her what had happened that she loved me and a couple other people, but she was never, no matter how hard I tried, going to change. But, you know, that's one thing about getting a dog who is like Chaabi was. And yes, she was a puppy. You can tell. You can, in their eyes, her teeth. She had beautiful white teeth. You can teach them. You can love them. You can train them to learn to be a good doggy. And that's a reason to get a younger one, especially if they have a little stuff that, you know, they need to overcome. But here's the really hard part of trying to find a baby. And I know everybody says the right one will come along. You will know it. Did I have that connection with Miss Hazel when I was looking at her on petfinder.com, and she was behind bars? Yes, I did. She was matted. She had the saddest eyes. She was in a cage with big dogs. Yeah, my heart was crushed. But you don't always have that strong of a connection. I didn't immediately just fall all over Chaabi, but I knew that I could love that little girl. And if I'd have known about that piddling, she'd be with me right now. Or maybe at home. She was used to being in a crate part of the time. I hope it was not a lot. But, of course, as soon as she got used to and comfortable being in the cottage, I wouldn't even do that. You just test them. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and you can watch them through the window like I did Miss Hazel. How are they acting? Are they relaxed? Are they stressed out? You can train them. Miss Hazel did fine. Sometimes I worked 12 hours a day, and she was fine until she got her separation anxiety. So, a rescue group will tell you all those things. They are not good with kids. They cannot handle cats. They are extremely shy, and you will have to work with them. They tell you all this so that you know whether or not that baby is something you can handle. And I can't tell you the number of times I've clicked on a baby and I've read their bio and I knew that baby was probably more than I was ready to take on. Rescue groups, all of them that I have seen, and I've seen a lot, require you to sign a paper that says, now of course, how are they going to make sure you do it? How do they know that you don't rehome that dog to someone else if you find out it's not a good fit? You're not bonding like you think you should. The dog has a problem that you can't handle. Well, you should have thought about that before you got that dog, because rescue groups they are honest, y'all. Once they find a home for an animal, cats included, they don't want that baby coming back. That's traumatic for these little babies and big babies. After everything they've been through in their lives, then they go to a shelter, a lot of them, then they get rescued, then they go to a foster home, then they go to a forever home, and then that doesn't work out, and they're back in the foster home. Y'all, that's why I am being careful. But people know they have that safety net. If for some reason that little animal does not work out, you can return it to a loving foster home. It does not go to a pound or shelter. I sound a little zealous, don't I? I am. Now, here's the other thing, y'all. There are so many. Because of this pandemic, the rate of adoption has skyrocketed. The rescue groups talk about that. One of y'all sent me a link to a poodle rescue. It's kind of like the Insider. You can listen to what, not listen, but you can read to what people are saying. And these people brought up such a good point that I had not even thought about. A lot of these adoptions were done impulsively. Oh, I want to do something good. I'm going to adopt a baby. And they do. And maybe they get a purebred, maybe they get a mixed breed, maybe they pay a lot, maybe they don't. But they get one. It's not always a thought out plan. Or they would have already had a cat or a dog. So what's going to happen to these babies when these people go back to work? There's two big reasons why owners surrender their animals to a pound or a rescue group. Now, rescue groups do not always have room. One reason that owners surrender their animals is, I just don't have time for her anymore. I am so busy. I'm about to have a grandbaby, and all my time is going to go to the grandbaby. I'm allergic. My husband is allergic. My grandkids are allergic. My kids are allergic. Those are big reasons why little animals get returned and rehomed. And a lot of them, I mean, if you look at the private people that are looking to rehome, and I've heard of rehoming for years and years and years. You rarely ever, but I did read one yesterday on Craigslist that said, I'm moving, so I'm getting rid of my cat. I'm getting rid of her. And some stupid people on there are actually saying, I need to get rid of her before tomorrow. Hello? How do you expect to accomplish that? I'm going to calm down. I get really upset, y'all. So, the term rehoming came about because it is, you better back up some more, honey. Come on. Come on back. Come on back. I don't think she sees me. She's out in the street, though. Anyway, so rehoming is a gentler term. The other reason that is very big that people rehome or return their animals is because they have a behavior that they don't like, and they don't want to take the time or the trouble or have the patience to fix that behavior. And the main one of those is not being housebroken. That is not rocket science, y'all. Read up on it. Now, are some dogs harder? Oh, yes, they are. Little Chihuahuas are pretty stubborn. And I forget what other breed. Yorkies, they're not easy. Some of them are, some of them aren't. But anyway, y'all, I am being careful, and I am not being drug around by my heart. I did not know about how to correct and help an animal with submissive urination. But thanks to y'all and the research I did, I wouldn't let that scare me. And if Chaabi had still been available, I felt enough connection with that baby that she would be here. And I know I've said that before. But y'all, I'm using my brain cell. There are so many that just can rip your heart out. And they came from horrible, I think there are a couple of rescue groups that specifically go down to Mexico. They have dogs all over the place wandering the streets. If you've ever seen that, that is heartbreaking. I don't know if they don't have animal shelters. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. And a lot of rescue groups, I think all of them, when they rescue a little animal, cat, dog, whatever, y'all can't believe some of the... Did you know that there are hairless guinea pigs? I never heard of such a thing, but there are. But they make every effort to help these animals get socialized, to walk on a leash, to be housebroken, to work on separation anxiety if they have it. They spend time. They don't rescue these little animals and immediately put them on their site for adoption. Some of them, they even keep. They do not adopt them out. Their problems are too severe. So they live out their life, usually in a foster home. There are foster parents that will keep little animals like that. And boy, my hat goes off to them. It really does. But anyway, y'all, I was so excited. I kept grabbing Terry's arm on the way down to see Chaabi, and I mean, my heart was beating, and I was so excited to have a baby to give my love to and receive it. But you know what? There are so many. And I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'm going to cut this off. Terry should be here. It's time to go get our groceries. Hold on. Oh. You have to monitor these rescue groups, and you can set up alerts. Now, some of those Pet Finder you can put in there, I'm looking for, and you can even put in the specific breed, and rescue me. I think you can do that. But anyway, pet finders, you can put, I am looking for a kitty within 25 miles of my zip code, or 50 miles, or 100 miles. You might be willing to look at a baby in another state. And I have seen people that have done that. And so if you're more specific about the breed that you're looking for, you don't find very many purebreds, purebreds, but mixes, that's predominantly that breed. And you have to act fast. If that is a little animal that would really suit you, calm, quiet, a bit independent. There are some that I've seen a couple and I thought, dang, that's a perfect dog. But I wasn't drawn to it. But when you are, you have to act fast. And Merino Valley Shelter, that's the one I tried to get Hannah from. And they put you in a raffle. If the dog is cute, if it doesn't have a lot of behavior problems, even if it's not cute, they get a ton. Oh, a friend of mine that was watching this other little dog that I thought was it was kind of a red poodle mix. No, that was me that saw it because you sent me that link. He had just gone up in Merino Valley. He already had 17 people. 17 people. It's like playing the lottery. Now, what I think they should do is take applications without a specific pet in mind. Take the time to go over the applications, and if they thought that it was a good one, then they could do, not all of it, but a little background on that. Check a couple references. Call the vet reference. And then